Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20, back with another game spotlight, this time Hand of Fate. Hand of Fate is a relatively new game. It just went full release. I think it was available in like a pre-release state before this. It's a game made by Defiant Development, and it's kind of a cross between deck building, action combat, and it's just maybe a little bit of roguelike stuff going on in there. Like, it's kind of a hard game to explain because it's one of those games that comes around every now and then, and it's just like kind of different from most other games that I've ever played, at least. It's pretty cool. I've been having a good time with it. Just a heads up before we get started with the review, I will let you know that Hand of Fate was gifted to me by Development. They sent me a review copy, so they said, you know, hey, check out this game. Here's a free copy of it. If you like it, review it. And as usual, there's no obligation for a positive score or anything like that. It's just totally like, hey, if you like it, review it. If you don't, it's okay. So I played it, I liked it, so I'm reviewing it. That's kind of how it goes on my channel usually. I'm pretty upfront about how I got a free copy of the game, but you know, like I said, no obligations, no strings attached. So let's get started checking out Hand of Fate, and I'll let you guys see for yourself what the game's all about. So let's start checking out Hand of Fate. Now, when you first start the game, you're going to go through something of a tutorial. I can't get back to that tutorial without completely resetting my progress, and I've progressed, I don't want to say very far into the game, but far enough that I don't want to start over. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of the different game modes that are available. There's a story mode and an endless, and we'll check out the differences and see what the game's all about. So let's get started. First, we'll click Start, which is pretty much the most obvious thing to do right now.
I'm beginning to admire your methods, brutal as they are. I would have done things differently.
So as I mentioned, there are two modes, Story Mode and Endless Mode. Now when you enter in Story Mode, you're going to start off up here in the top left, and you're going to have an opponent that you're going to fight. And as you progress across the line here, you're going to eventually fight kind of different bosses along the way, receive a special artifact, and then continue along the next line. This is the point in the game where I'm at. So I'm probably about halfway through the story mode. But I'm not going to show you story mode. I want to show you guys endless mode because it'll give you a little bit of a better feel for how the game flows. Just keep in mind that when you're playing in story mode, the earlier parts of the game are much easier, and as you progress, it's going to get harder. So it's your typical story mode. And I don't want to spoil any of the story for you, so I want to make sure that you guys get to see that. But endless mode is another way you can play that allows you to go through things. But before we get into that, I also want to show you the deck building aspect of this game. So let's take a look. If we were to jump into story mode, you'll see that when you go to fight up one of the bosses, you might get some curses applied to you, and there might be some challenges as well.
Will it be you who buckles first? It will not be my hero.
And you also have access to a deck builder. So the deck builder is interesting. You start the game with a handful of cards, and as you progress through story mode, you get more and more cards unlocked. This is how the roguelike element plays. If anybody's ever played roguelike elements before, successive playthroughs of the game unlock more and more components of the game that you can then use in different combinations, right? So you get access to more and more cards as you progress through story mode. You will also unlock cards by playing endless mode. So there's a ton of different cards available, and there's many different types of cards available. Let's real quick take a look. One type of card is equipment, and like I said, this is kind of an action game, so you actually have actual like armor and weapons that you use to fight some of the monsters in this game, and different items have different stats on them, as you would probably expect. So up here you can see there's a bunch of different weapons available. There's some shields, helms, artifacts, trinkets, all these different items, all represented in the cards. And what happens is, as you're playing, you might get dealt one of these cards, and if you do, then you have access to that on that playthrough. Cool? So this is the cards on the top are the cards that are available to you. The cards on the bottom are the ones that are currently in my hand. So all these cards are available. You can see I've got some armor in here, and you get to build your hand however you want. Now, if you're not too familiar with how to build card decks, and I'm honestly not a huge deck builder kind of player, like I'm not too good at building decks, you do have a recommended button down here, and it'll go ahead and just let you use the recommended encounter deck here. Now the other thing you can get access to is encounters. Now this is going to be the type of creatures and combat and challenges that you might encounter through your playthrough. So you can set your deck up with a bunch of different challenges, and you can kind of set the different kinds of things in here. So you might get you know, different creatures or people that you might encounter along the path. You might also get to different encounters and different dungeons and stuff, and you'll kind of see that as we play through. So that's the deck building concept of the game, and not only do you get to pick your cards, but the dealer who you're playing against in this game is also going to pick some cards for you. So if you, think you can stack your deck and have like the perfect deck, like yeah, you can stack your deck a bit and come up with something good.
Endless mode if you wish to test your skills.
But keep in mind that the dealer is always going to have his own set of cards that he's going to add to it. So it's not like you're going to have like an easy playthrough. So building the deck gives you better advantages, but you still have a challenge. So none of that might make too much sense until you actually see how the game is played. So I'm going to go through and play in endless mode. Let's check it out. So I'm going to basically play through the game a little bit and show you some of the features of the game, and that'll give you a good idea of how it works, and then you can decide for yourself if you like it and want to give it a shot. So you can see here the dealer is dealing some cards to me.
Think about the way we play this game. You continue to die, yet we reset the board each time. One has to wonder how it is possible to truly lose.
So down on the left-hand corner here, you've got access to a few things. You can see your current health, and you'll always start with around 100 health, which is your current maximum. You also have food, and every time you progress along the board game, you're going to lose some food. But you can also regenerate some of your health. You also have gold, which currently I have none, but you'll progress and collect gold as you play through. And you can also check out your inventory.
Review your cards here.
Cool. So you can see here you have your weapons, your armor. So right now I start off with a pretty basic axe and a pretty basic set of light armor and a shield. And I really don't have access to anything else because, like I said, it's kind of like a roguelike where every time you start a new game you don't have anything, but as you progress you'll get new items. Cool. Also on the screen, as you progress, you'll be able to swap out items that you find along the road. So let's go check out that road that I'm talking about. This token here is your player, and you get to choose which path to follow. Now obviously I only have one move, so let's move forward and see what's underneath this card in front of me. It could be almost anything, typically one of those encounters that we saw earlier. Aha.
Our lives are often lived thus, are they not? Pushed back and forth by the whims of nobility or power.
So this card is called Culling the Ratman, and there's something actually special about this card, which I'll talk about, and it's this little symbol down here that I want to show you.
Let us stake a token on their foolishness.
So you can see there's some information here. The lands are being overrun by ratmen. Merchants are being attacked. So there's a guard who's asking you for help, right? Or a king, it looks like. He wants 50 gold to help fight these ratmen. Unfortunately, I don't have any gold, so I'm going to have to refuse his offer at this time. And I don't get access to that token. That token, by the way, if I were to have gotten it, when I either die or complete the level, you can complete levels in story mode, but you'll die in endless mode eventually. You get that token and it'll give you new cards. So that's basically what that does. So let's go down here and see what's up ahead. Aha, Devil's Choice.
In truth, though, all choices are the Devil's choice. Even the choice to do nothing.
So this guy's giving me a choice. Now these are enemy cards, and I'm about to encounter some enemies. Here it's kind of interesting. He drew the same 3 cards, so it really doesn't matter what I picked. The funny thing about the Devil's Choice card is he might give you the monster that you pick, or he might give you another one. It's kind of a little interesting mechanic. So I'm going to choose this 2 of Dust card. Now once I've chosen a card and we're about to fight, the 2 of Dust means the number 2 is I'm going to be fighting 2 monsters, and the dust is the type of monster. So you'll notice that they come out in the background there. And I show up with my cards that I've got for armor. So you can see there's my shield and axe came down, and those dust are the enemies that I'm going to fight. Now you attack with left click. You can hit Q to counterattack, and when they have those green symbols on top of their head, that's when you want to go ahead and counterattack. So that was a pretty easy fight, but it's also the first one I went through. And like most roguelikes, it's pretty easy early on, and it gets more difficult as you progress. Now at the end here, I might be able to get access to cards. So typically when you do a battle, you'll get access to some gain cards. So the dealer is going to draw you some cards, which will get you some stuff. So I just gained 3 food, which is good.
I'm sure you're grateful for that.
I gained draw 4 armory and choose to discard or put back on top. Cool. Neat. So I get to choose to put these cards on top or bottom of the deck. Sounds cool. Now, sometimes you're not going to know exactly what they do, so healing cap sounds nice. Cool. Armory, draw 2, select 1 to keep. Nice. So I'm thinking I'm going to want... This looks like a nice weapon. Let's check it out. So you can see it's 32
Fire
damage.
was never meant to be so controlled and so channeled.
And it has a fiery aura, and I can press 1 to restore the fire and burn nearby enemies. So it's got a special ability. It's much cooler than my axe. So I'm going to say yes, let's equip it.
As pleases you.
And of course, like I said, you can go into your inventory now. We can see what weapons we have equipped and what weapons are available. So you can see I have a new weapon now that I can use in my battles. Cool. Let's progress and see what's under this card. Stranger in the
cities
shadows.
hold no darkness like that to be found in the wilderness on a still and moonless night.
So this card I'm familiar with because I've seen before. He's a vampire and he's basically offering you gold in exchange for health. So I'm going to accept because I have a pretty good amount of health right now and really no gold at all. So you'll notice I lost 10 health and he gives me some gold. And he wants to know if I want to do it again. So I say sure. Now I have a random chance. Okay. You notice that there's 3 success cards
your desire.
and 1 huge failure card. So there's really no way to know which one. You can't watch the cards as they get shuffled. So I'm just going to pick one at random is what I usually do. And I was successful. I can't tell you what would have happened under a huge failure, but it would probably be bad. So I lost 10 health again. And more gold. And I'm going to say, alright, we're kind of done with this. Cool. So now that I've continued along this path and there's nowhere else to go, I'm going to head back. So let's progress this way. You'll notice that every time I move, I lose 1 food and gain 5 health. So that's nice. I've gotten back to killing the Ratmen. Now because I didn't complete this card earlier, it's still available. But I still don't have 50 gold, so I'm going to have to refuse here.
Moonlight, unholy creatures. I'll forgive
So this
you
looks
for
like an
arriving
auction
here
of
once,
vampires.
but I hope it
Let's
is
see what
the
it's all
last
about.
time.
I've actually not encountered this card before, but you can see there's one of those tokens on the bottom of it, so I definitely want to try and progress and get that token. Oh man, 60 health. Sure, why not? That doesn't sound ideal. Oh, and I only have a 25% chance of winning here, so that doesn't look good. Cross your fingers for me, guys. Oh, look at that. Nice. That's cool. The card's token is now mine.
The token is yours. Let us see what you do with your newfound abilities.
Cool.
This tale begins.
When this game's over, I'm going to have a new
proceeds
card.
relentlessly. With each step, you will discover a new card and a deeper mystery.
So every level here has an end point, and we've just reached the end of this level. Now, if I wanted to, I could exit this level, or I could turn that ride down, check out what that last card is, which I haven't unturned yet, and then come back. That would use up a couple pieces of food, though, and I need to find some more food, so I'm going to hitch a ride here and continue along my way. Now, each time you progress deeper in the dungeon, you're going to have some negative effects applied to you, and there's going to be more dangerous monsters placed into the dealer's deck. So remember I said the monsters get tougher as you go along. So it looks like there was a trap along the path, and I lose some food, which is not ideal.
All the world is a game board, and us men and women merely players. I alone do not play. I maintain the rules. You have choices, and I have predestination. Your choices, though, are merely a rediscovery of that which you already know.
So that was cool. I just encountered a random guy who I wound up getting gold from. And I'm going to let you guys go ahead and read through these sentences here. I'm not going to read them out loud to you. So I just gained a ton of gold, which is kind of nice. That was a lucky card to run into. Oh, looks like we have another ladder here to escape from. This time I think I'm going to turn back and just check out some more of level 2 dungeon, because like I said, it gets harder as we go along. So because this card is completed, I don't get anything, but like I said, you always gain plus 5 health and minus 1 food as you travel. So I really need to find some more food here. The Desert Storm, what's in... Okay. Alright, let's run for the hills. So again, we have a chance, 50% chance of success, 25% chance of failure, and 25% chance for huge failure. And I got failure. That's not good. So it looks like I didn't outrun this dust storm. And I lose some gold and some food as a result of that. Well, I didn't have any food, so that's okay.
Food is crucial for healing.
Now you'll notice that this time,
food, your strength will not be restored between encounters. You'll also begin to starve. It seems you'll learn that soon enough, though.
That's what I was going to say, guy. Back off. So anyway, as I move now, I might lose health.
What an ignominious way to go. I do hope you find something to eat soon.
So now I have to draw 2 monster cards. So I got 2 cards that are similar, the 2 of dust, and it looks like I'm up for a battle again. So this time, my player will show up, I'll get my weapon and shield and armor and everything. There I am, with my shield and weapon, and you can see the dust cards are drawn up top there. So it looks like we're up for a battle again. When the green symbol appears above your character, it means somebody's trying to shoot you with a ranged weapon, and if you time it just right with that counterattack, you'll wind up reflecting his arrow back at him. Got it. Nice. So I did pretty good in that fight. Hopefully I got some food out of it. 3 game cards, that's good. Choose to discard or put back on top. So let's say Explorer's Helmet I'm going to put on the top. Cool. Alright, I got 5 food, that's nice. And I draw an equipment card. I got an axe.
Are you a woodsman turned warrior now?
So I'm not going to equip it. So I still have access to that axe if I wanted to equip it, of course, but yeah, I don't want to. Actually, that's weird. Did I lose my weapon at some point? I might have, somewhere along the way. Lost my weapon and didn't notice. Well, that's not ideal. Alright, I'm going to progress along the board a little bit, and then we'll come back for some more advanced stuff. So guys, looks like I just ran into a Ratman hunting party, and I draw 2 cards, each are 4 of Plague. So remember I told you the suit of the card determines the type of monster you're going to fight, so I'm going to be fighting some Ratmen because it drew Plague, and I have 2 sets of 4 to deal with. So, like I said, things get a little bit harder here as we go along. Oh, also there's sometimes traps on the level that you're playing, so you can see those things there shooting spears out at me, so kind of stay away from those things because they really kind of hurt. You'll also notice that Ratman there just had a red symbol above his head. That means it cannot be counterattacked with Q. You need to roll away with space. So you can see I can roll out of the way. So if you do encounter any monsters that start going with a red, which you'll find as you progress further in the game, you're going to want to roll away instead of counterattack. Looks like I'm actually doing pretty poorly here because I have some kind of plague afflicting me. So that was actually not too great. I did a pretty bad job that time through. But it's a roguelike, so like I said, get used to dying. It's inevitable.
Familiar. Impermanent.
But I did actually get a few tokens here, so let's see.
The battle is ended.
So remember I won that blood auction earlier, so I get a weapon card and an encounter card, it looks like. Oh, cool. I got the Blood Auction 2 encounter and the Plunderer's Ring. Nice. And for surviving the Desert Storm, I got a Lost in the Desert card that also has a token on it. So if I get this card next time I play through, I'll get another token. And Marketplace. No idea what that's all about, but you can see here, Endless Mode, my total score is 112. It's actually pretty terrible. My high score is 981, so I've actually done better in the past, much better. I got down to, I think it was like dungeon level 7, it looks like I got to before. This time I only got down to level 3 in the dungeon. Not too hot, but like I said, It's a little bit luck-based, it's a little bit about stacking your deck, and it's a little bit skill as you're playing through and fighting those creatures, like I said. And there's some more difficult ones down the line. There's lizard men, there's mages, there's all kinds of crazy monsters that you'll fight as you progress through the game. So guys, I think that's given you a pretty good impression of what this game is about. I'm enjoying it. I think it's fun. As you can tell, I've been playing through. I'm about halfway through the game, and I'm continuing to play it and enjoy it. So I think it's neat. But this review is really more like a demonstration of the game, so you guys can form your own opinions. If you want to check it out, it is available on Steam. It's currently version 1.0.2. Looks like they've released a couple patches since they've been out. So this is definitely one of those games where their developers are actively, you know, fixing bugs and taking care of things, which is always something I like to see. So for now, Direwolf20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed checking out Hand of Fate. As usual, please leave me feedback in the comments of this video. I do like to hear, you know, what you liked and didn't like. This is a different format video for me. Typically, I'm doing Minecraft Let's Plays and mod reviews, so I do want to hear your feedback if you enjoyed seeing this game review and if you think I did a good job and what I could have done to do it a little bit better, because it is kind of you know, unexplored territory for me. I think this is the third game I've ever reviewed on the channel, so definitely leave me feedback. Alright guys, Direwolf20 signing off. Take it easy.